In chapter 378 of the Hunter x Hunter manga, we saw the character Morena for the first time, where she delivered a powerful speech that complicated the ship's events even further. So, allow me to borrow this part and begin with a simple introduction of myself. I am a well-known creator of Hunter content on YouTube, but not in the English-speaking community. My other channel has gained a decent number of subscribers and views, which made me consider sharing my content with a larger audience. However, there was one thing that held me back. I couldn't invest in this idea because my English is not the best. But over the years, as AI tools began to spread and tools that could help me became available, I had to give it a try, create this content, challenge myself, and see if I could convey all my ideas and style this way. So I apologize for saying this, but although this is our first meeting, I hope for your support in developing this content, and also your patience with the quality that I will start with. As for today's topic, I had several ideas I wanted to present in this video, but to be honest, I eventually decided to choose a topic that would get high views. By the time you're watching this video, you probably know that Togashi has been consistently drawing since his tweet where he wrote, "Start over."
どうも皆さん、こんにちは。ハンターハンターを描いている富樫義弘です。
Hunter x Hunter is one of the best stories out there. Both young and old are well aware of Togashi's excellent writing quality and his significant superiority over other authors. But due to two reasons, this story is no longer the top topic of conversation among fans. The first reason, as most of you already know, is Togashi's hiatus from drawing due to his back issues and his absence for 4 consecutive years. The second reason is the Succession War arc, and Togashi's amazing and complex writing style in this arc. The Succession War arc includes many characters, rules, and conflicts. Togashi brought together most of his characters, added more, and put them all on one ship, with different teams that have various goals and mindsets. With Togashi's long hiatus, most followers forget the events due to their complexity and number. Additionally, this arc follows a strategy and planning approach, rather than direct combat. And today's fans only want fights. If we don't count the battle between Crollo and Hisoka, there hasn't been a major fight since the ship set sail. Only a brief confrontation between Kurapika and Vincent, and between Henrigi and Marina's members. So I understand that most people don't like this part of the story, as it's not targeted at all readers. But at the same time, I trust that many, like me, love this type of event and consider it the best. Let me speak less uselessly and apologize for my arrogant personality that just came out. Being someone who has followed anime and manga for years and is passionate about this field, sometimes I get these arrogant thoughts where I say to myself, I could write a better story than 90% of the ones we see these days. In fact, sometimes my arrogance even reaches the point where I think I could match Isayama's level in Season 3 of Attack on Titan, but this arrogance never dares to mention Togashi's level, especially in this arc. I'm certain I could never write something like the Succession War or even reach half of Togashi's level. I think most of those watching this video now consider Togashi #1 in the world of manga creation and are very happy with his return on October 7th. As we said, by the time you're watching this video, Togashi is still drawing, and this is something we're not used to. Usually we get 10 chapters per year, and sometimes 20, depending on Togashi's back health. But ever since Togashi created his Twitter account and began sharing his progress with us, it was clear that he was trying to finish the story with all his effort, this time without repeating the scenario of his previous story, Yoyo Hakushu. The good news is that we may get more than 20 chapters this time. 20 chapters mean more than 5 months of Hunter content. I don't want to get ahead of myself and say this could mean the anime's return is near, because it's a complicated matter, especially with the rise of more fan service-based productions. But who knows, I might wake up one day, open Twitter, and find news about the anime's return, and when it does return, I'm sure it will dominate the scene with an iron grip.
まあ最初はこんな感じで紙にですね、アイデアをいろいろ考えながら。
The last 2 years have been very tough for Togashi. He lost his father, then his mother, as well as his friend, the author of Yu-Gi-Oh! Recently, he also lost someone he deeply valued and was inspired by, Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball. And with the message where he mentioned that he struggles to use the bathroom, I can't imagine the difficult time Togashi has been through. Despite all this, he has recently been drawing 2 to 3 pages a day. As you know, in the last chapter that was released, the magazine stated that due to Togashi's health condition, the publication schedule would change and it would no longer be weekly. At this point, we were expecting the manga to be released monthly, or at least bi-weekly in a different magazine from Shonen Jump. Indeed, this was the plan, but according to a leak, the reason why the monthly publication plan changed was because Shonen Jump knew it would lose two big names from its sales. These names are Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia, as we learned in recent days that Jujutsu only has one chapter left before it ends. In other words, with these two series gone, Shonen Jump's sales would drop significantly, and if Hunter x Hunter also left the magazine, this would undoubtedly be a big financial blow to the magazine. This is the reason behind the meeting between Togashi and his editor, and why his return in October was decided, as I mentioned earlier. The magazine convinced Togashi to return to weekly publication. Now we come to something important. How many chapters can we expect this time? Since Togashi resumed drawing, he has been working on 3 pages a day. After finishing the drafts for 10 chapters, he slowed the pace to 1 or 2 pages daily. The reason for this is that he became busy with other tasks, most importantly overseeing the assistants and giving instructions on how to draw the pages we will read in October. He's also busy coloring the new volume and adding some touches to ensure it comes out with the best quality. This increased his workload, so drawing 1 or 2 pages a day became necessary to complete the chapters. But even so, he hasn't stopped drawing, so as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it is possible that the manga could return with more than 20 chapters, given that Togashi, up until the moment you're watching this video, has not stopped drawing and continues to work, despite tweeting a few weeks ago that he started feeling back pain again. Let's stay optimistic and hope for 5 months of Hunter. I hope you focus on this because I want to explain something important in the world of manga and anime. As we know, the Japanese people work incredibly hard, even if it affects their health and lives. We've heard many stories about studio workers losing their lives due to work pressure. The same goes for authors, as they fight to deliver their chapters on time. For example, Oda, the creator of One Piece, only sleeps 4 hours a day. Gosho Aoyama, the creator of Detective Conan, has been hospitalized in poor condition multiple times. Toriyama and Miura suffered health problems, and there are many more such cases. Togashi was on the same path during his time drawing Yoyo Hakushu, but something happened that changed his perspective on drawing manga and working in this industry. It also led him to end that story in a poor way, and he admitted that he did it on purpose. Let's read his latest message so you can understand the reason clearly. If I'm honest, I'm feeling a great relief and pleasure at the thought that I've finally been able to finish Yoyo Hakushu. It's not that I've lost all emotional attachment to the work, but I feel that my stress levels had greatly surpassed my will to work. The 6 months leading up to the concluding chapter felt awfully long to me. To tell the truth, it had already been decided that Yoyo Hakushu was going to end in December 1993, or rather, this was a decision that I had forced on the editorial staff. There were many reasons for this, all in all about 50 big and small ones. But in broad strokes, these were the major reasons. My body, thoughts I had about what it means to draw manga, desire to do other things than work. Point 3 is out of the question for a professional manga writer. Basically, I wanted to indulge in my hobbies, rest, and sleep as much as I could. Most of my 50 reasons fall into this category. Point 1 was caused by point 3 not being fulfilled for too long. From when YYH began serialization up until the start of the Dark Tournament, I had half a day off every week, in which I caught up on sleep. Other than that, all I had time for were occasional naps, and I'd indulge in my hobbies by sleeping less. For a while, I quite enjoyed this, but my HP was gradually but surely falling, and around the time that I wrote a 31-page one-shot and simultaneously had to do color pages, my heart began to hurt every time I went without sleep, and then it began to hurt more and more often. This was when I seriously started to think about the pace of production for manga. I thought, I probably won't be able to keep regular hours, but if I sleep as much as I want to, when I want to, how much would I be able to produce? I tried it out. I immediately began to fall behind on my schedule, but I tried to get some sleep every night. Around this time, my feelings about writing manga as a profession began to change. I don't want to die from overwork. If I die, I want it to be when I'm having fun or when I'm drawing manga for fun. Color pages are scary. One-shots are scary. I also began to use some time before going to bed to relieve stress. I fell even more behind, and at the point where Sensui and Yusuke were fighting, this reached its first peak. But also around this time, I realized I was starting to experience a different kind of stress. Because I had stopped overworking my body and started to relieve my stress, I was feeling stressed that I couldn't draw manga in a way that satisfied me. This is where point 2 comes in. I believe that anyone who draws has a desire to attract people with their art, but this is an ambition that I had suppressed for a long time. This is because back when I had just had my debut, my editor at the time had shown me a manga page by Hagiwara Kazushi. I felt that if I were honest with myself, My art would never be able to compete with something like this, but I was never able to throw away my ideal of being able to draw manga without help from other people. A few times during the run of YYH, I finished my manuscripts all by myself. All of these instances were when my stress levels were at their highest. I don't know if anyone will understand, but when I was stressed because I wasn't satisfied with my manga, the only way for me to relieve this stress was to draw all my manga by myself. I will leave a link to continue the message in the description, and I hope you continue to support this author and this story. This was our first meeting. It may not have the desired quality, but I will always strive to improve it. I won't ask you to like and subscribe unless, of course, you enjoyed what I presented. Until we meet again, thank you for watching.